The majority of existing video games have one thing in common. You must obtain better gear for game progression. This is seen in Terraria, where good equipment is correlated with more bases slain. This is also seen in real life, where wearing protective clothes prevents harm. Lastly, this is seen in the Skyblock MMORPG, where obtaining weapons and armor is essential for accomplishing basic tasks. Therefore, it makes sense that many people seek to obtain better gear. However, the search to find the optimal gear can be rather difficult. This was made more difficult with the arrival of the Dungeons update, which brought an onslaught of new items that can be hard to compare with regular items. The first thing that may have come to your mind are the dungeon items. It makes perfect sense that dungeon items will work better in dungeon environments than other items, because they literally do work better in dungeon environments. However, thanks to the existence of essence, it is possible to transmutate normal items into dungeon items. That way, your items will receive a considerable stat increase from your catacombs level. How considerable, you may ask? Very considerable. So considerable, in fact, that normal dungeon items will pale in considerableness. Keep in mind that it is nearly impossible to use these items. It is a well-known phenomenon that all normal items will obtain a minimum catacombs level to use once they become dungeon items. Most of these items require around level 30 catacombs to use. For comparison, the person with the highest catacombs level on the server is catacombs level 23 or 24. Each level is roughly 40% longer to get than the one before it. TLDR. Nobody is remotely close to being able to use it, although this will change when future dungeons floor release. Even if you get level 30 from grinding higher dungeon floors, the pace at which you obtain essence remains the same. Essence is obtained from fighting an assortment of various creatures scattered throughout the catacombs. The amount of essence gained from killing said creatures does not increase as you go on to higher floors. This is the amount of essence obtained by a dude with catacombs level 23, which is around 100 to 200 hours worth of work. For comparison, it takes about 3000 dragon essence to turn full dragon armor into dungeon armor. It also takes 1500 gold essence to turn a Midas sword into a dungeon item. Do not despair, however, because the essence shop is probably coming in 6 months. We will start off with the set known as the Tier 12 Perfect Armor and Reaper Mask set, which is considered to be the optimal build for tank and healer classes due to its combination of high defense and double regeneration rates. If you were to transform them into dungeon items, you would need to spend 2000 undead essence and 2450 diamond essence. Once the spending has been completed, the armor set provides an extra 1444 health and 4772 defense at catacombs level 33, assuming you use hot potato books, growth 5 and protection 5 enchants. Once you add that to your base stats, this amounts to nearly 120,000 effective health, making you practically indestructible. If you use the Titanic Reforge, this brings your effective health to over 150,000 in dungeons. For comparison, you get around 25,000 effective health in superior dragon armor. In case you are wondering, yes, it is possible to turn superior dragon armor into dungeon armor for a nice mix of tankiness and damage. To be specific, in dungeons, you obtain 90,000 effective health, 232 strength, and 232 crit damage with the renowned Reforge on each armor piece. If you are confident that you are unable to die in a dungeon environment, I recommend the Zombie Knight armor, obtained from slaughtering zombie knights in dungeon. The renowned Zombie Knight set provides 400 strength and 100 crit damage, although it only has 70,000 effective health. In case you are wondering, the Zombie Knight set provides about 10% more overall damage than superior dragon armor, at the cost of 20% less effective health. We will continue our overpowered dungeon item montage with the Midas sword. Thanks to the addition of the Midas jewel, the Midas sword has retaken its spot as the most overpowered normal sword when you apply the Gilded Reforge. Under normal circumstances, it has 390 damage and 240 strength, assuming you also have fuming hot potatoes applied. In order to transform it into a dungeon sword, you must obtain Catacombs level 32 as well as 1500 gold essence. Once you meet both of these criteria, the Midas sword will have 1193 damage, 734 strength, and 183 crit damage from the crit 6 enchantment. Let's compare this to the aspect of the dragons, which requires 1500 dragon essence and Catacombs level 30 in order to use it in dungeon conditions. With a max ender dragon pet, fabled reforge, and maximum fuming hot potato books, the aspect of the dragons will have 884 damage, 638 strength, and 406 crit damage in dungeons. Despite the large difference in crit damage, the Midas sword deals 10% more damage than the aspect of the dragons. Both of these swords are vastly superior to the adaptive blade and zombie knight sword, which are currently the strongest dungeon swords as of now. The last, but not least, thing we will be discussing today will be ranged weapons. This is because Archer is my favorite class. The Mosquito Bow, which is the staple of the Archer lifestyle, will become overpowered at the cost of 1500 Spider Essence and Catacombs level 30. When it is upgraded, it will have 785 damage and 351 strength. For comparison, the Run-in Bow will have 522 damage and 203 strength in dungeons. The stat difference is large enough that the extra 2 arrows fired by the Run-in Bow will not give it an advantage over the Mosquito Bow, making the Mosquito Bow a vastly superior piece of equipment wielded by the model Archer. Okay, anyways, those are all the notable items worth mentioning. The majority of dungeon items are noob when compared to the outstanding performance of normal items when transformed into dungeon items. They will most likely be useful in the future, where dungeon mobs will have higher health and damage, which can be countered by out-healthing and out-damaging them. Anyways, goodbye.